We are also honored this morning to have with us another member of our National Board of Advisors, Representative Jim Kolbe.
Thank you, Carolyn. This information that we've just heard this morning is really quite astonishing, though in many ways I suppose we all have experienced it ourselves and expected it and sensed it ourselves. What's extraordinary to me is that my experience with rank-and-file members of Congress is they feel the same way. They're frustrated. They're dispirited. They're discouraged about how they're going to make this thing work. I was with a group of them yesterday, and I found this very pervasive sense of frustration among the members. This is not to let them off the hook, but simply to say we're all part of this, and we all have a responsibility to try to make sure that we can find a way to move forward and reach some consensus on some of these key issues. We know that the vast majority of the American people and members of Congress, elected officials far and wide, agree on most things. We have disagreements. We have significant disagreements over policy and the directions that we should go. But most of us agree on most of these things. And wouldn't it be wonderful if in one of the debates, presidential debates, this actually came out and they said, yes, that is a good point. We ought to find a way to work together to make this happen. I would propose doing it this way. I would propose, and somebody else would say, I would propose doing it a different way. But they could actually talk about ways in which they could reach a common solution. That's why it's important for citizens to be engaged. I know that in my experience, 22 years in the Congress, the House of Representatives, I did a lot of town halls, more than I can probably count. But I think they were all useful and valuable because I found that for the most part, people had serious suggestions about what they thought were the answers. And I frequently found that these were ideas that I could take back with me to Congress, that I could share with my colleagues, that I could talk about and I could actually translate into action. So it really is important for all of us to be participants. We're not just consumers of government. We need to be participants. And we need to find out ways in which we can be involved. And I know that members, that a lot of the public feels they just simply don't know how to connect with their members of Congress or their other elected officials. And that's why I'm really pleased the National Institute for Civil Discourse is launching this website, yourwordscount.org. And that's going to engage citizens about the concerns right where they live, the things that are really important to them. It's an opportunity for citizens to connect with their elected officials in a way that they haven't been able to do before. So I hope that the word will get out and people will want to, and will engage their elected officials on this new website, yourwordscount.org. Thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you so much, Representative Kolbe. Each of you have emphasized your strong belief in the ability of the American people to connect with their public servants, their elected officials, to come up with good ideas, to make progress on these large problems. And that's exactly the intent of the Institute launching today, the www.yourwordscount.org. We really believe that the majority of the American public is ready to move forward and wants to influence members of Congress to again operate in the style which allows for really rigorous debate that will eventually lead to the kind of solutions that Senator Daschle and Representative Kolbe referred to. That is the whole intent, is to restore confidence in our national institutions. Thank you very much for participating. Thanks, Lori and Dave, for presenting the data. Thanks to Senator Daschle and Representative Kolbe. And for the American public, please join us at www.yourwordscount.org.